Oh, I didn't know predictions auto-closed. They auto-closed? That's sure fancy. That's sure fancy. All right, here we go, guys. Zain in yellow fighting out of Pakistan in the top right. Zedd in red fighting out of Algeria in the bottom left. We're gonna get this one going again, guys. This is a bit of a grudge match. The last time these two saw each other in a competitive Blitz World Series event was on the Big Little Lake map going into the championship, and Zain did lose a nail biter. Zedd went on to take second place in that tournament. So that was the last time they saw each other. They're definitely coming for each other. They're definitely hungry right now. And Zedd, I mean, traditionally speaking, you know, Zane's one of the top players in the world. Has been for some time. Zedd, you know, is not up there in traditional. He's obviously a good traditional player, but he's not up anywhere. He's not really not. Why am I using so many words to say this? Traditionally, Zain is ranked much higher, but in Blitz, Zedd has had a lot more experience lately, and even just today, Zedd's already got some experience in, played some good games already. So, we'll see how this goes. Zain is going to go, both players taking the lighthouse right away. So both players want to get that lighthouse, be able to get their navy out when they want it. Mr. Mad Tanks in the house. You're in time for a barn burner, man. So Zain now spamming conscripts. There is a dog in that group and a drone out front to clear out the dogs. So Zain's got the drone clearing out the dogs, the conscripts pumping out now, and just going to secure those huts. I think that's a pretty good idea, running around the map, throwing a couple conscripts in these huts against an allied player, the Rockies and stuff. The Rockies and stuff can kind of slow that down, but so versus so, if you throw a couple conscripts in huts, kind of mess with people a little bit. Zain's using that drone now to get a little scouting in. And Zain coming super, super aggressive here on 2 war factories already with 4 oils. He needs to be careful here. If he starts building too many defensive structures or too much fodder, he can put himself broke in this position. Hassan, yeah, that's definitely one thing you see as you progress throughout the month. You'll kind of see the early build orders. Things that you think of as are kind of obvious definitely change later on. But early, you know, when you are less experienced, you kind of need an early war factory because you can have a more difficult time resisting early pressure. And I think these guys are just a little bit more confident in their ability to kind of micro their defensive structures, use fodder and things like that to resist early pressure. So they do opt for that early economy, you know, getting those oils out before the war factories. But different ways to do it. Different ways to do it. I personally, I'm an early war factory kind of guy. Okay, crates out now. So how is this looking right now? So Zain's back end. So Zain's pushed tech earlier. You see Zedd on 3 war factories as Zain gets his battle lab out. Zain's going to start going broke here probably. Needs to watch his money. He's got a Kurov coming. Zedd scrambling the flak. Already out with a couple flak tracks to try to yeah, he's countering this nicely. A lot of sentry guns. Zedd's just gumming up that section of the map. You know, Zain, less experience on this map. You know, he might still kind of have that feeling that he has to try to hammer his way through this position, but he could definitely consider, you know, Zain could stretch himself a little to the left with the War Factory, start trying to bring some splits on the left side, because this back side of Zedd's obviously much more exposed. Naval Yard out now. He's going to bring the Sea Scorpions. Look at the range on those things. Jeez. So that Kurov's not going to be able to get much done here. But Zain, a pretty significant Iron Curtain advantage, about 2 minutes ahead on the Iron Curtain. Does force the sell on that Naval Yard. Nice counter with the Kurov. Kurov's wasn't going to get much else done. So now his own Kurov's coming. So now it's Zain's turn to switch over to flak tracks. Naval Yard. So now Zain, they exchange the position here. Zain's slightly ahead in the water there. Going to bring out the brings out a squid to counter the Scorpions. Ooh, and so his Kurov definitely gets more. Well, only takes 1 War Factory, not so bad, but that does put Zain on only 1 War Factory. That's not the position he wants to be in right now. Not sure what those flak tracks were just doing from Zedd. I think he just blundered those flak tracks. So Zedd has a pretty big tank advantage, but here comes the Iron Curtain, and Zedd's going to lose a few tanks in the process here. So Zain, because he's so far behind on tanks, he's trying to thin out his army first, but you got to think, wow, he's just going to go straight for Zedd's army. That was a very interesting choice there, and it really shows how far behind Zain was on tanks, because Zain just took out 10 rhinos and is still way behind on rhinos. As you see, Zedd on 4 war factories here, and Zedd also with a dreadnought now going to work, and Zain in a pretty tough spot right now. And by tough, I mean possibly insurmountable as the Iron Curtain comes out here. Um, yeah, the Dreadnought's in the water. Iron Curtain coming. No Rhinos. First point going to Zedd. Yeah, this elite Rhino is really, really nice here. Zain calls GG. First one going to Zedd. Sov versus Sov. Yeah, and Zain, Zain knows Blitz, and he, you can tell he had a strategy there, but definitely you can tell he's just a little less comfortable on this map. Doesn't quite have as many reps as Zedd. That's really showing for sure. Yeah, it's interesting. It's tempting to think like, oh, he got the first IC in the first Kirov, but it's not necessarily what it's gonna take. Zain got that first IC, he got the first Kirov, but it strained his economy. It put him behind on his tank building, and ultimately, he wasn't able to get enough value out of the Kirov or the Navy or the Iron Curtain to make up for that. So Soviet versus Soviet. At the end of the day, Rhinos on the board. Rhinos matter. Rhinos matter. Yeah, it's hard to say. It's hard to say. Zain using that IC to try to thin out his army was an interesting play. I actually kind of thought it was a good idea, but it makes you appreciate just how severely out-tanked he was. He was so out-tanked that I don't know, if Zedd could have forced shield and stuff. It's hard to say. It's hard to say. He was way behind on tanks though. Makes it really, really tough. Allied versus Allied now. I think this could be pretty tough for Zain. The Allied Blitz meta has developed quite a bit since he was playing very much, and I'm not sure if he's really caught up with that. But you see him stretching himself out here a little bit. Zedd's going to bring the Eagles and do what we see from Allied players right now. And I'm not sure if Zain is aware of that meta. I see the drone. Yeah. Yeah, hard to say. Hard to say. Does get some damage on that Grizzly. That's nice. Needs to be careful here. Zain needs to be very, very careful. Pillbox comes out. It'll put him out of position. Zain looking super aggressive right now. Ooh, but Zedd was building a Patriot missile. Oh my god, he was building a Patriot missile. The Grizzlies are coming. So now a Pillbox dry. I would just go right past it, I think. If he can hit the barracks, cancel the Pillbox. So if this... Oh, he does get the Pillbox out before he can get the barracks. He built an engineer. I think he was going to send that engineer into his own barracks to save it. That would have been hilarious. So now another barracks out. So now another Pillbox is coming. And Zain, this is really, really top level early pressure here. You see how he's working outside of the range of the Pillboxes, really trying to pick value. High level decision making being done right now. And this is very, very difficult for Zain, but he's doing it perfectly. And to be fair, Zedd is responding fine, but Zain is just looking really, really strong right now. Paradrop on the backside might get that MCV. Oh my god, oh my god. Does save the MCV, but he's continuing the harassment now, and Rocky's coming in on the left side as the Grizzlies continue their push. That puts him low power. Zedd does have a ton of money, but he is low power, significantly low power as he brings out that other war factory. He tries to dive on that oil, doesn't get it, and with no anti-air, he needs to really keep his... Ooh, those huts were doing work. They had an elite GI in there. Damn, that was... he should have used those Rockies to clear that out. You don't want to take damage like that. Zain now base walking forward. A forward Patriot missile. Brings the Prism Tower. The GIs are the perfect counter for that, though. Gobble that thing up. But now Zedd responds with his own Prism Tower. Paradrop joining the front lines here. Zain certainly has the momentum. Big tank advantage here. Doesn't have... Oh, he does have that Patriot missile in the works as well. There's a lot of chaos here, but those GIs just in time to slow down that Prism Tower from Zedd. Zain playing a very, very controlled and methodical, aggressive early attack here, and this is an absolute work of art from Zain. But at the same time, Zedd hanging in there, keeping his hat on, but in a tough spot. Now Zain does have a lot of bruised tanks, but Zedd doesn't have much going for him either. So does snipe out that oil. He's going to try to dive on this other oil, just try to get another chain reaction. He'll bring the tanks in to finish it off. He's going to finish off that oil, get a nice chain reaction, take the power out. He's now low power. There's nothing left for Zedd to do here, and that was absolutely beautiful. That's so funny questioning. Yeah, Zain doesn't really know the new meta. Zain doesn't need the new meta. Zain redefines the meta. We're talking about Zain, the meta. Zain doesn't need the meta. That's the new meta. That's the new meta. It's called the super aggro, paradrop in your face, pillbox walk in the first 30-second grizzly rush allied meta, which I'm a big fan of personally. Ed, Jesus needed. Yep. Wow, really, really well played. And it's always, you know, at the I think that's what you see more often at the higher level games. The biggest difference is, you know, lower level players, they're capable of doing epic plays. Like in the lower divisions, you'll see these really creative, these well done plays. But oftentimes, you don't see their opponent matching them. So oftentimes, when a really good play is made, it's kind of like overwhelming. Whereas I like in this, like it was beautiful. Like Zain was doing so many good decisions, but Zedd forced him to continue to make good decisions. Like Zedd was holding so well that Zain had to continue to make the correct decision time after time after time, and it really adds to those positions like that where that went for a very long period of time. And it really makes you appreciate on both ends just how much time and energy is behind you know, a battle like that. And yeah, beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Zain now camping that barracks. I like that. And Allied versus Soviet now in point number 3. And Zain's pumping the GIs. Zain's pumping the GIs. Zain, old school Blitz player. You know, back when Zain was winning the Blitz tournaments, the GI rush was like everyone was GI rushing. I like how I talk about Blitz like it's been around for more than 6 months. It's just fun. Adds validity to it. But yeah, we don't see much GI rushes anymore. But hey, like I said, don't tell Zain how to live his life. Rocky out now, picking on that bunker a little bit. Eagle scouting. Eagle tries to get a hit on that Rhino. A lot of GIs in that group. And Zedd not bringing a radar, which is very interesting. Zedd has to see these GIs. They've like ran around the entire map twice. So Zedd, no, okay, so now, oh, Zedd brings out the radar but puts some low power. These GIs might be able to get something done. I don't know, maybe the GIs are just messing with them. That's a lot of GIs though, they're not cheap. So you really can't afford just to confuse your opponent with that much money early game as Allied. Especially now you look at Zain's economy is kind of struggling a little bit here. I don't know where that engineer is going on the bottom. But Desolator coming on the bottom side, runs into that prism tower. So Zedd's just both Zain here, both players securing their lighthouses so that when they do want to get in the water, they can do it immediately. Crates out now. Zain needs to be careful here in the open field. He is severely out-tanked. And again, Zedd puts himself low power, doing Zain some favors, because Zain has some catching up to do. Those GIs put his economy radically behind. Now Zain does go Battle Lab. He's on 6 oils. Battle Lab's fine. He kind of has to. He's kind of got to just shortcut and he's got to get the Mirages out ASAP. So now Zedd's on 12K? Zedd's only on 1 War Factory right now. So the Battle Lab's got to be coming from Zedd. He's on 12K. He's got the Lighthouse. Yep, there's the Battle Lab. Here comes the Kirov. Here comes the Dreadnought. Here comes the IC. And we'll see how Zain can respond. But Zain, I'll lower this one a little bit for you guys. Zain is now second AFC out now. So with these 8 Eagles, he needs to control Zedd's tech. I'd love to see him snipe that Battle Lab right now. That Battle Lab's so juicy. Oh, and And Zedd knows it's coming. He builds a second battle lab. That's a super heads-up play from Zedd. And speaking of heads-up plays, I love that oil snipe. Grabbed the chain reaction, did some nice damage there, made Zedd pay for his conservative build. And very interesting to see here as we see Allied versus Soviet, but you see Zedd very tucked in his corner as the Allied player stretches out and takes control of the map. But the naval yard out now, so Zedd's got a Kirov coming. No anti-air on that Kirov yet. Naval yard, Kirov, and IC. And it all comes down to these Eagles. Kilted, back in the day, man, the game's still here, man. The game's rolling. This is Red Alert 2 at its prime. You got to come play. Forget the old memories. Come make new ones. Does take an oil, takes a prism with it. But Zain is controlling the water nicely with those dolphins. Not a lot on that Kirov. Kind of scaring me a little bit. I'd like that Kirov to be shot down. Eagles coming in, and they do get the IC, so that buys Zain a bit more time. And Zain is... This Kirov, oh my god, this Kirov was just left with way too much. Oh, he can't lose his Air Force right now, and Zain's broke. Oh, so Zain's broke. He does get the cell. So, yeah, a bit unfortunate here. So, for Zain's position, that Kirov was a nice hit, though, from Zedd. And Zedd's just going to keep things pumping here. He's keeping his Battle Lab out. He got another IC out. But Zain has pulled ahead on the naval battle. And Zain with a nice group of Mirages here. So Zedd's got to be looking... Zedd on 21k right now. Zedd on 21k. Zedd's got to start pumping on all 4 tabs, man. He needs to keep moving. Zain is broke, which is unfortunate because he has a lot of things he wants to do. Snipes out that flat cannon. Zain would love to be pumping more Mirages. He'd love to get more aircraft carriers. He'd love to get more Eagles. There's a lot of things Zain wants to do, but he's broke for the time being. Does dive on that nuclear reactor. Doesn't get it. He's trying to hit both nuclear reactors at the same time, so Zedd does have 2 nuclear reactors. He gets one of the nuclear reactors. That's not enough to put him low power, which means the Iron Curtain is coming. If this Iron Curtain gets out, Zain is in a very, very tough spot. And he doesn't have much more time to respond here. Iron Curtain, about 20 seconds left. Yeah, the naval's big for Zain right now, but it's this Iron Curtain's just going to be huge. Let's see what he can get done. Harassing that economy a little bit. Here it comes, here it comes, here it comes. Iron Curtain out. And Zain has a few Mirages. Zain now engaging, trying to bait that Iron Curtain early, and Zedd gets a sloppy Iron Curtain down, only gets 4 tanks in the process, leads them all through those GIs, gets a bit of chip damage done. Oh, but his aircraft carrier's out of position, and that's really Zain's juicer right now. The naval's so important for him, so losing those aircraft carriers was devastating. But Zain's economy has now caught back up. He's on 6k. He's going to easily be able to hold off this attack with these Mirages, and that was a really heads-up play. You saw Zain went right at Zedd, and in my head, I'm like, run away, the Iron Curtain's coming. But Zedd wanted him to run. You know, it's all about that baiting him to use the Iron Curtain early. He forced him to use that Iron Curtain early, and in the process, it was a bit sloppy. He only got 4 of his tanks and didn't get much value out of it. That Iron Curtain was everything for Zedd. So now it's Zedd's turn to make something happen here. Sorry, now it's Zain's turn. I don't know. Sorry, too many Z names. Okay, so now the Desolator's out, and that's the big thing right now. With these Mirages, the Desolators are the Soviet counter here. You got to get those Desolators out, possibly Deso Bombs and flat cannons, and another Kirov on the top side, and the last Kirov worked so well, Zedd says, hey, let's try it again. Takes out another AFC. Zain now on 12k, though, so Zain needs to be pumping the aircraft carriers. Where are the aircraft carriers, Zain? Where are the Eagles? He's bringing the Prism tanks, and we need some snipers. So Zain also needs to switch over to snipers because the Desolators are the hard counter for those Mirages, and the counter for the Desolators is the snipers. It's a big game of rock, paper, scissors, ladies and gentlemen. Big game of rock, paper, scissors. Kirov on the bottom right. Going to get a bit of damage done. Zain is just not worried about these Kirovs for some reason. And that's the 2-minute warning, guys. So this one could be coming down to points. And I think... You got to imagine that Zedd, you know, oh, Iron Curtain out now, so Zedd's going to make the run. Yeah, this one could be coming down to points, and there's just, it's gone both ways. Both these guys have killed so many of each other's units. There's no way of knowing how it's going to go. Neither of these players should be comfortable with letting it go to points. Zedd's kind of like, Zedd's kind of thrown this position a little bit in a lot of ways, so maybe he's more comfortable just like letting it go down to points and getting lucky. But as Zain's hungry here, Zain has fought very, very hard to stay in this, and made a lot of really good plays, and I think he wants to take this one home. So he's going to continue the push here, but doesn't. He has too many IFVs in that group. Desolator's coming now. These Desolators are going to hard counter. You got to have the snipers. You got to have the snipers in that group. And a lot of these guys, again, people just don't think of it as much with Blitz. Most people don't play Great Britain. Got to have the snipers out. Zain on 18k now. When his entire navy has been AFK. The aircraft carriers could have been doing a lot of work. But there's a lot, a lot easier said than done. There's a lot of different things these guys are having to manage at one time. Yeah, you can build, so both factions have all their faction bonuses. So Allied has Paradrop, Eagles, and Snipers. Gonna dive in for that nuclear reactor. Nice hit. Does put him low power, and he doesn't get the Iron Curtain off. So that was a huge hit from Zain there to slow down that Iron Curtain, not let him get the Iron Curtain off. And now at this point in the game, guys, the timer is going to go in about 20 seconds. You just got to try to harvest points, get kills wherever you can. The more valuable the kills. Oh, those Rockies get cleaned up in the top left. That's a lot of points. That's a lot of points. But Zain is pressing in here, and Zedd's going to be saved by the clock. Can he get the MCV kill? Does get the MCV kill. Who knows? Who knows? Zedd does take it home, and fairly decisively on kills there. Quite a few more kills, does take it on points. Has the way she goes, got to drop the hammer late game. The Rocky Pinata. Yep. Yep, and Zain's got to be pretty upset with that one. So it is 2-1 now. Yeah, very, very close. It's kind of tricky because then at the end there too, you're like, oh, well, Zain just took his MCV, but at the same time, like, both players, when they start playing the clock, they're playing a little differently anyway. Like, you see Zedd, like, going after those Rockies and stuff. Like, you start trying to look for points. Yeah, it's very, very interesting. But the way she goes on the points, the way she goes. Okay, so Zedd now versus Zain. And Zedd, Zain lost a lot of really valuable units that game. I mean, it's, there are some random parts to the points, but ultimately it comes down to the kills and the value of the units that you kill. Yeah. So Zedd in Allied bottom right now. Zain Soviet top left. It is 2-1 match point. It is best of 5. So Zedd wants to take this one home, end the series, take home the money. Zain fighting to keep things rolling. If Zain knots this one up for us, that will be 3 games today that went to match point, which is just, like almost too much for me to handle. Almost too much excitement for me to handle. So Zedd bringing out the GGIs to resist. Obviously, that early Soviet pressure is going to be coming from Zain. I think the GGIs are a good move. I think Zedd's biggest issue that Zedd needs to look out for here is building it into a dangerous of a manner with his oils. You see this oil is almost chain reacting that MCV. Like, look at this. This is just so juicy. Like, if Zain can find a way to crack through and target these oils, Zedd's entire base is a powder keg. But as an allied player against an aggressive Soviet, sometimes it's just how it has to be. Obviously, the smaller your base, the easier it is to defend. Deso down now to clear out the fodder. Nice move. Oh, does he get out of range of the pillbox? Not quite, not quite. And Zain's looking to take this one home early. Man, Zain is hungry right now. Hungry and a little bit annoyed. And you gotta love the player who, after a match like that last one, losing on points, are you the kind of player who tilts, curls up in a ball and dies, or are you the kind of player who feeds on it, feeds on the pressure, comes out even stronger on the other side? Sniper out though, but did die in that in the Deso hit there. And Zain is all gas, no brakes right now, running on straight spit and adrenaline, pumping. He's got that forward barracks. I think we'll see some bunkers out now. There is snipers and Desos at kind of a standoff right now. Deso's pretty hard countered by those snipers, but there is ways to still manage them, certainly. Zain's economy running flush right now as he brings out his second war factory. And that's a nice snipe. Taking out that forward barracks is nice. Does slow down this push a little bit. Prism tower out now. So the problem is you really want to add fodder in to counter to help your tanks against the prism tower, but that's an issue with that many snipers. Basically, I mean, Zain can't build infantry. I mean, it's just those snipers, it just completely gobble them up. Look at the range on those things. Desolator does get some radiation down, though, to slow down that paradrop. Eagles on the backside. They take out the battle lab, but he gets out the nuclear reactor just in time. And we'll see if Zain learns the lesson here that you got to build 2 battle labs. Against the allied player, you got to build 2 battle labs, or it's just going to keep getting picked off. And now Zain on the backside is going to pump flak troopers as his anti-air. We haven't seen that done before from Soviet, but I don't hate it. He dives in to take out that Patriot missile, clear the way for his Kirov. The Kirov's untouched right now. Oh, and the Kirov's going to take that oil, take another oil. That oil is going to chain react. And Zedd should have seen this coming, and I'm not sure why he didn't have a plan up his sleeve. Okay, so it does get a few oils and does force the MCV to repack, which is going to cancel whatever build he had going on. Oh my god, the flak troopers did it. The flak troopers were able to hold off the battle lab. This flak trooper now is an elite, which is hilarious for several different reasons. And yeah, Zain's a beast, but to be fair, Zedd, to be hanging with a beast like this right now, Zedd obviously doing a lot of things right, as Zedd does get into the water now. Battle lab out, so we will see an aircraft carrier. Kirov out, going to counter the naval yard. Pretty good move. Another Kirov, so he's bringing Kirovs from both sides now. Brings out the cruiser, nice anti-air. Jeez, those things get a lot done, huh? So it does counter, and so that was a nice play by Zedd. So Zedd is going to get the aircraft carrier out. Now Zain is going to try to counter his navy with his own navy. So Zain is bringing an engineer. I'd love for Zedd to snipe that engineer. Would have been funny. Just take one of the battle labs. You just got to keep working on the battle labs, I think. Zedd only on 4K. Zedd would like to get more eagles in the game right now. Doesn't have a tremendous amount of money. And so Zedd does have control of the navy. Zedd has control of the water right now. He's got a lot of mirages. He's going to hit this battle lab. So Zedd is able to knock down those battle labs. So Zedd doing a great job staying in this position. I mean, Zain's throwing a lot at him, but he's responding nicely. And this is a lot of mirages. So Zedd is ahead here on tanks. Somehow, and driving through those infantry is devastating. The mirages are going to gobble him up here, and Zedd kind of without an answer. Zedd did want to push there before the Iron Curtain could come. Zedd made the right decision pushing there, and yeah, I mean, I don't know. Zain doesn't really have an answer here. Iron Curtain coming, but he doesn't have any tanks to Iron Curtain. Wow. So does get through, takes the Iron Curtain. So he has to Iron Curtain the Iron Curtain. Oh my god, that elite. So, oh my god, and again saves the Iron Curtain. Wow. So, I don't know. I mean, there's really nothing for Zain to do here. Zain somehow is the only person in the water. He does have a battle lab. Can Zain build a dreadnought? Is there dolphins in the water? Oh my god, a dreadnought's out. That's hilarious. But so Zain, without an MCV, Zain has to be super careful here. If Zain loses that nuclear reactor, then he's totally screwed, and it looks like he's going to. So he's going to target the anti-air, try to clear space for the Kirov. So Zain on one war factory now. There's a paradrop AFK bottom left. They're going to take that nuclear reactor. So that's going to put Zain low power before he can get the Iron Curtain off. Oh my god. Oh my god, he's going to save the nuclear reactor. Oh, here come the Eagles. Here come the Eagles. No, he's got to lose the nuke. Loses the nuke. So he's now low power. He does have a war factory. He's got to pump the dreadnoughts. Oh my god, he gets the MCV. I don't know. This is crazy. Is there... He still has the battle lab. The Desolators are in the base. That's a lot of Desolators now. He's going to... Oh, he could dive on that battle lab. He's not shooting the battle lab. He's not shooting the battle lab. Why isn't he shooting the battle lab? He gets behind the radiation. He's now on a lot of his own radiation. Why aren't the Dreadnoughts shooting right now? The Dreadnought... Okay, big force shield from Zedd as we hit the 2-minute warning again. There's a Boris out. The Dreadnoughts aren't shooting. Zedd does not have an MCV. I don't know. I have no idea what's going on right now. There's no anti-air in the water. The Rockies are coming. A Scorpion gets out. The Naval Yard wasn't repaired. The Dreadnought's out of position now, getting targeted heavily from land. Oh my god, the Dreadnought's doing work though. The Scorpions are out. The Iron Curtain's out. There's nothing to Iron Curtain. He could Iron Curtain the Dreadnoughts. You ever seen an Iron Curtain Dreadnought? I've never seen it before. The Scorpion goes elite, and he's still building. He does have some Desolators to slow things down. The Dreadnoughts have to stay going. The Dreadnoughts have to keep working, though. The Dreadnoughts are everything right now. They're his only offense. Desolators and Tesla Troopers trying to hold on. Zain does still have 2 barracks. And so here come the... What's the target here? What's the target? Zain's only got a... He could hit this barracks. He's got it. The AFCs are big. The barracks are big. Man, I'm losing my mind. There's a lot of different things he could be doing. A lot of different things he could be doing right now. Trying to target the power, possibly. These are his last 2 Dreadnoughts. That's the problem. Oh, he loses the Scorpion? No, he saves it. Oh my god. Oh my god. The Scorpion goes down. The Dreadnoughts now both Dreadnoughts go down. And with that, there's only one move for Zain. It's to try to stall things. Zain can still try to run out the clock here. There's only about 30 seconds left in this game. That elite Grizzly doing work, but the Tesla Troopers holding it down. So he's got a few buildings left. And Zain's just got to try to run out the clock. But it's going to be hard with the Eagles still flying. What else does he have? Oh, the Naval Yard. Naval Yard's his last building. Rally the troops around it. Try to hold on. No anti-air. The timer goes. If Zain wins on points, I'm going to laugh my ass off. And again, Zedd does take it home on points. Pretty significantly up there on kills again. Zedd takes it home. Wow.